Hello, wonderful ones. Dr. Shepard here. I wanted to share that the work that I'm doing is aimed at certain individuals, so a certain ideal customer profile, client profile, if you will, and that they are people who are highly spiritual and highly scientific. If you're highly scientific and you're not spiritual at all, you won't get this. If you're highly spiritual and you're not scientific at all, you won't find it interesting. But if you're both deeply spiritual and scientific, you'll find it interesting. So I thought I'd share today uh, something that is an example of where the scientific way and the spiritual way would be in conflict, and that is in a mental illness. And I asked the question. I asked this to ChatGPT. I said, ChatGPT, what kind of diagnoses, what kind of psychiatric diagnoses would the holy ones get if they came back? Kuan Yin, Buju, and Christ, and Buddha, and Moses, and Krishna, and on, right? They came back, and I was thinking about, like, say, Moses was alive today, and he went to his doctor, and he said to his doctor, he's doing his physical. And he's like, oh, yeah. Can you breathe in? Breathe out. And then, anything going on, Moses? Well, actually, coming to think of it, Doc, I saw this burning bush, and I heard the voice of the universe saying to me, its name is I am that I am. And the doctor might say, well, I gotta make a referral to a psychiatrist, right? So you can just imagine what happens. Actually, the funny thing is, I asked ChatGPT what kind of diagnosis would Christ get, and it said it depends on who you ask, right? So if you ask someone who's really scientific, they might say, like I asked my doctor, for example, and he said Moses wasn't real, right? Or if you asked if you asked a spiritual person, they would say, well, I don't know if science has got it going on. So what I do is bring a new way of thinking so that we don't have to feel split. Like I was talking to someone and he was saying, hey, he's had a near-death experience and his consciousness was outside of his body. And there are a number of scientists who are thinking about this in regards to post-materialist science. They have a new philosophy to study these types of phenomena, telepathy and near-death experience and remote sensing and so on and so forth. So the work that I do is creating a theoretical space. It's a simple mathematical proof that shows that these scientific ways of knowing and these spiritual ways of knowing are two sides of the same coin. So, the kid in The Sixth Sense or Whoopi in when she saw Patrick Swayze in Ghost, they don't have to get psychiatric diagnoses. So that's what it's about, and that's an example of it. We can feel whole. We can feel like we don't diagnose ourselves as crazy for having deja vu and other types of spiritual experiences. So that's the message for this week. Glad to share more and glad to hear more from you. Thanks, wonderful ones.